Hartsville, Rockingham County, North Carolina. A tiny laid-back community where people feel safe to leave their doors unlocked.
It's normally quiet. There's very little goes on in this area.
Until March 24th, 1999, when 30-year-old Christine Kimberlin answers a knock at her door.
I'll get it!
She was in the back room, the area where you do the laundry.
Hi, my car's broken down.
Somebody claimed their vehicle had broken down and wanted to use the phone.
Christine feels safe. Her husband, 41-year-old Wayne, is home.
Wayne Kimberlin was working at the computer at the time, so when he seen there's someone in the house, he came to the other side of the table to greet this person.
Christine leaves the men to solve the car trouble. But this stranger wants more than a phone call.
And when he finished the phone call,
Okay, I'll wait by the car.
he turned to Mr. Kimberlin.
Oh, hey, sir. How's it going? How much I owe you for the call?
It was too late.
No, please, no.
He had been shot several times.
Christine runs for her life to the home of their neighbor, Al Davis.
She said that Wayne had been shot. She was screaming hysterically.
Where is he?
They call 911 and race back to her dying husband.
I followed her back over there, hoping I could help him in some kind of way, but actually he was already clammy. There was nothing I could do. She went back outside for some reason, and then she came back in and she said, oh yeah, his truck is gone.
Wayne's truck's gone. He took Wayne's truck.
The killer steals Wayne's pickup truck. Christine gives police a detailed description of the intruder.
He was a black man. He was about 5'10", and he had short hair and big fat lips, and he was wearing a big blue puffy coat and blue jeans.
She was pretty good in her description.
You know this man?
But something doesn't feel right to Detective Dean Venable. If the motive is auto theft, why would the man come to the house?
I don't know.
Who would do that? In Rockingham County, that was astonishing.
There's a lot about Christine Kimberlin that's astonishing. She's on her third marriage, but still family life doesn't seem to have much attraction.
She was just totally dissatisfied with her life. It was obvious she was to everyone.
She's spending her days with a ragtag of lovers and drug users.
They stayed up in the house all day. Come to find out they would take it to dealing in drugs.
Christine wants to become a dealer herself to make some fast bucks.
Christine had been giving one of them money to buy drugs, supposedly to make her money.
That's what I got you. That's one you want to ride?
Christine wants the best for her daughter and herself.
Let's see it on you.
She was always wanting to do something else or be somewhere else or have something else.
Her shopping sprees don't make for a happy home. Wayne can't afford her splurges.
Hi, how's your day?
After 5 years together, things are tense.
Melanie.
Did not appear to be the ideal marriage. I don't know whose fault it was between Wayne and her.
What is your problem? Are you trying to send us broke again?
I'm paying for it.
With what, huh? With what?
Soon she decides to spend her money on more than a high.
So, have you found someone?
Maybe.
With the help of her dealer, She banks on a new life.
She wanted out of the marriage and wanted to leave it with money. And she had a plan that she knew would work.
I know you're in there!
But Christine is wrong.
What the hell, Christine? Where is he? He's been locked up. What?
Her lover is arrested for drug possession. She loses her cash. But soon Christine will be single, and more than one life will be ruined. Reidsville, North Carolina, 1999. Christine Kimberlin is cheating on her third husband. She's hooked up with a drug dealer and wants him to find her a hitman.
Christine didn't have the intellectual capability and the worldly view on how to get out of a bad relationship and take care of herself.
But after handing over her cash, she loses it all when her lover is arrested for drug possession. Her plan to cash in Wayne's life insurance policy is put on hold, and her relationship is getting worse. She claims he is being abusive.
You've had enough.
They didn't share a lot of time together that was to her satisfaction, so.
Don't you ever talk to me like that again.
I'm sorry.
She'd just say he'd come home from work and drink beer while he was at the computer. He would often abuse her, especially when drinking.
To be rid of Wayne, Christine needs a plan B.
Wayne represented every man that had ever abused Christine. And Wayne was going to pay.
But she can't bring herself to do it.
Maybe it's as simple as she just didn't want to get her hands dirty. Maybe it's as complex as she couldn't kill because part of her loved him.
Christine needs a plan C and a new man to pull it off. 24-year-old neighbor, Anton Johnson.
He was a friendly young man.
Did he do this to you?
Really, everybody that knew him just said, oh, he's just a nice guy. She explained to him how she'd been assaulted by Wayne. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but that's what she told him, and he believed it.
Using her body and the promise of $3,000 in cold, hard cash, Christine convinces gullible Anton to become her assassin.
He felt protective of Christine, and she convinced him that a bullet was the answer to the problem. Christine was both a victim and a predator.
This is the back door.
The pair works through every step of the murder.
This is the back door.
It must look like a violent robbery. Anton will pretend his car breaks down.
Right, and this is where he was.
It wasn't an overnight thing. It wasn't something she decided last Saturday and done this Saturday.
I'll give you $3,000 after it's done.
She was determined to get out of that marriage, and that was her way out.
To make sure nothing goes wrong, Christine sends off the only possible witness, her 12-year-old daughter.
She had sent her little girl away to live with her mother in Florida. It was unusual.
You'll have fun at Grandma's.
She knew exactly the way she wanted this to happen.
I promise things are going to get better around here. Yeah?
And she was determined that it happened.
March 24th, 1999. In friendly Reedsville, a neighbor in need is always welcome. But tonight, Anton's only need is for Wayne to die.
She had found someone willing to execute her plan. She told him exactly what to do, and he followed her instruction.
All right, I'll wait by the car.
All right.
Yo, hey, how much owe you for the car?
It's fine. No, hey, please, no, hey!
He tried to defend himself because a couple of the bullet holes were in his arms.
Now she needs to convince police there has been a robbery.
Maybe like an hour or so ago.
But Detective Dean Venable is suspicious of Christine's behavior.
I can let you know.
That'll be helpful, man. Thank you.
She did not have the behavior that I would anticipate someone having if their husband had just been shot. I was kind of concerned about the way that her demeanor was.
From that moment, Christine's best-laid plans collapse. After several hours of further questioning, she confesses all.
She just said she should never have done it.
Christine did not hold up well under questioning by police because she's not very smart.
Anton soon follows suit and gives them every detail of Christine's plan.
If he had never met Christine, I don't know if he'd be in jail or not, but it wouldn't be for murder. That would be my opinion.
Both Christine Kimberlin and Anton Johnson are convicted of first-degree murder.
She never gave me the impression that she was remorseful for the death of Wayne Kimberlin. I know that she was very much disappointed that she had gotten caught.
In January 2001, Anton Johnson is sentenced to life in prison. In October 2000, Christine Kimberlin is sentenced to death. On appeal, it is commuted to life without parole.
Actually, I thought the first sentence was the more appropriate one.
Christine always wanted more out of life. Instead of a divorce, she goes for a quick fix and easy money, and pays the price.
Christine and Anton didn't exactly create the perfect murder. In fact, it was anything but.
Teenagers love to connect.
To them, everything was a game.
Social networking means sharing everything.
They were almost reveling in what they were doing.
Good and bad.
It didn't seem to register that actually they were killing someone.
London, 2008. There's trouble brewing in a middle-class suburb of England's capital city.
Oh, God, stop!
Ruby Thomas is only 16, but is living like an adult.
She had ectopic pregnancy. She was a binge drinker, and it wasn't a great way to start your teenage years.
Ruby, you need to turn that music down.
Her single mom tries to keep Ruby on the straight and narrow.
Ruby's mother was, by all accounts, a hard-working and caring mother.
Have you been drinking? No.
Her mum saved and scrimped in order to get her going to a privately funded school. I think it was something like £16,000 a year.
You young lady are absolutely unbelievable.
Close the door.
Ruby is smart and excels in class.
Ruby appeared to be a bright student. She was good at maths and certain other subjects.
But good grades don't make up for her out-of-class behavior.
She was someone that broke the rules. She was wearing makeup at this school where that was against the policy. She reveled in having a reputation for being a hellraiser.
Ruby wants to be the tough girl.
She was very nasty to a lot of the other girls and would call some of them ugly and make them cry.
I think she hated anyone that was perceived to be different. She clearly felt that she could just belittle them, bully them, intimidate them.
You want to try at least a little bit. Like, you want to, you know, he's going to think...
Ruby was always angry, always looking for a fight. She seemed to try to get herself kicked out. And eventually she was expelled from that school.
Ruby's belligerent behavior worsens.
What are you looking at, young bag? You want a taste?
By the age of 15, Ruby had a criminal record for drunken and loutish behaviour.
But you love a little taste.
Oi, sit down.
Bob off.
Drinking transforms Ruby, the loudmouth, into something more sinister.
Come on, little sweet.
Sit down or get out.
And when she'd consumed alcohol, she became incredibly violent. There was a lot of anger inside her.
Get out!
And it would all come out and explode when she began drinking alcohol.
You know what? Get back, Grandpa.
She was very aggressive. If you were seeing trouble, she probably would have started it, particularly when she was drunk.
Back, Grandpa. Huh?
In 2007, Ruby is convicted of the vicious assault on a bus driver. Being a violent drunk is following in her father's footsteps. 6 years earlier, 11-year-old Ruby idolizes her father.
Daddy's home.
Until the day he doesn't come home.
When Ruby was only 11, her father went to prison for killing a man. He stabbed a taxi cab driver 28 times.
Learning her father is a killer changes everything for Ruby.
I think the moment that her dad went to prison, you could see that family life was just falling apart.
Seeing her father incarcerated for murder might have told her, this is your lot as well. You are his daughter. It was like she couldn't wait to be just like her father.
At an age when most teenagers are thinking about their future, Ruby is caught in her past. With her anger and alcoholism growing, she is a ticking time bomb.
Oh, hello, girls.
All these traumas and problems that were occurring to Ruby culminated in one appalling incident.
They disgust me.
Somewhere, sometime, someone will pay.
Look at him.
She was looking for trouble. She wanted to hurt someone.
Have it.
A loving mother and a private school education can't tame English teenager Ruby Thomas.
Get back, Grandpa.
After her father is convicted of murder, Ruby's life spirals out of control.
Inside, she found it very hard, I think, to deal with the fact that her father wasn't around. But in terms of her exterior, she was someone that just didn't give a damn, really, in terms of what other people thought about her.
Trafalgar Square, a landmark meeting place for Londoners and tourists. On September 25th, 2009, Ruby is there with two friends, 18-year-old Joel Alexander and 17-year-old Rachel Burke.
They formed what one could really describe as a mini gang.
Oh, hello, 8 ball. I can see my reflection in your head.
Ruby starts harassing passers-by for sport.
Hello, farm animal.
I don't know whether she was proving something to her friends or proving something to herself.
You wear it on your head.
Nevertheless, that night, someone was going to get hurt really bad.
Also out on the town is 62-year-old Ian Bonham.
I believe I lost it. Don't the shit. When they didn't call.
Ian was gay, and openly so. Had been for some years. Because of his age, he spent a lot of time hiding his homosexuality, but it's a reflection of the way society has changed in recent years that he felt confident enough to come out.
Ian is a strong advocate for equal rights.
If he saw what he deemed to be an injustice, he would walk in and try and solve the problem. He was well known for this. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind, and he wasn't afraid to challenge people.
So where are we going to go on holiday? How about bang?
But Ian's gay pride isn't welcome tonight. Ian and his friend end up in Trafalgar Square.
Minding their own business, when suddenly Ruby shouts expletives at them after she sees them holding hands.
Faggots.
Ian is outraged by Ruby's homophobic comments and challenges her, quite rightly, to find out why she feels so much anger towards him.
Oh, you didn't like that, huh? Oh, you're not happy?
Ian had no idea who he was dealing with. Ruby was ready to explode, ready to let it go. And Ian, in her mind, provided her with that opportunity. He stood up to her, so he would have to pay.
Where's your girlfriend? Huh?
Vicious verbal altercation followed between Ruby and Ian. And when that ended, Ruby then slashed out at him with her handbag.
Her friend quickly joins in.
Punch which Joel Alexander threw at Ian just knocked him to the ground, and blood started pouring out of his head.
Ian is immediately unconscious. But the teens don't walk away. They sink the boot into their defenseless victim.
You see the crate?
They were still punching and kicking his body, so much so that his head was swinging from side to side. It seemed like a scene from a horror film, really. They were almost reveling in what they were doing.
Both girls were laughing and smiling and shouting obscenities, like a scene out of Clockwork Orange.
They are fatal blows. If the gang has any remorse, they don't show it.
The girls were later spotted giggling and dancing as they entered a nearby elevator as if they didn't have a care in the world.
To them, everything was a game. Attacking someone, causing them to have fatal injuries, it was just something that they would do, and they didn't even seem to register how far they had gone.
Their brazen attack in a landmark tourist attraction means there are witnesses. To make the police's job even easier, the teens brag on social media.
One of their friends actually went to the police to tell them about what they had done.
Despite their pleas of innocence, the evidence against them is overwhelming. In January 2011, Rachel Burke, guilty of assault, sentenced to 2 years. Joel Alexander, who threw the punch, guilty of manslaughter, and sentenced to 6 years. Ringleader, Ruby Thomas, guilty of manslaughter, and sentenced to 7 years. Her charge officially labeled a hate crime.
There is no other way to describe this but as a hate crime. These two men were attacked viciously because they were gay.
But homophobia isn't Ruby's real problem. Anger and alcohol are, just like her daddy.
Make no mistake about it, Ruby is a violent psychopath. Ian had no idea he was dealing with a ticking time bomb. This is really a cautionary tale. You never know what's going on in the head and the heart of a stranger on the corner. Be cautious.
In 2010, in the desert city of Tucson, Arizona, evening meals are special for the Sanchez family.
Clarissa said she'd be home.
He'll be home soon.
The one time of the day when they can all be together before Mom Sarah starts her night shift.
She was a nurse, so she worked nights. And then she would come home and Andrew would go and work during the day.
It gives 38-year-old Andrew time to bond with his daughters.
He always spoke highly about his wife and daughters.
This weekend, are we going camping?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like fun.
16-year-old daughter, Clarissa, holds a special place in his heart.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Take care. Clarissa had pictures of her and her father from her last birthday that said Daddy's Princess across the bottom. They seemed very happy, smiling.
I made a real hunk.
No way.
Yeah.
But soon, another man commands Clarissa's attention.
You're really cute.
Her first boyfriend, 19-year-old Ray Coronado.
Clarissa's parents were okay with Ray in the beginning. They thought that he was respectful.
What do you want to do tonight? Do you want to do something?
It doesn't matter.
She didn't have a lot of friends outside of Ray. He was her best friend.
I mean, I have a lot of fun whenever I'm with you.
Clarissa's parents don't mind until the relationship becomes all-consuming.
But you have homework?
They had concerns about the amount of time the couple was spending together.
When parents forbid a daughter to see someone, they better keep an eye on things and not turn their back.
The couple can't bear to be apart. Ray starts sneaking to Clarissa's bedroom at night.
I missed you.
Me too.
He would come to her window after everyone in the house had gone to bed.
You weren't waiting long, were you?
Nah.
They would talk or hang out at her window for hours.
I get it. I get it. Ray, go home.
The late-night visits test her father's patience.
Clarissa, it's getting out of hand.
Andrew worried about the relationship because Ray had become overly possessive of her.
Andrew just wants to protect his daughter.
He's too possessive.
He decided that that was it, that they could no longer date and go on these day-long excursions together,
You can still see each other.
but that they could remain friends.
No more going out.
I should be allowed to see who I want.
You live under my roof.
It really rankled her that she wasn't allowed to do what she wanted and with him.
You're only 16. You should be out having fun, not spending all your time with him.
What Clarissa wanted was more important than what her parents wanted for her. And so what her parents wanted for her meant nothing.
Clarissa doesn't want to be Daddy's little girl anymore.
If you really loved me, you would do it.
You can't be serious.
I'm so serious.
Clarissa decided that she'd had enough. She was tired of her dad, so she told Ray that if you really loved me, you will kill him.
Ray would do anything to keep her from breaking up with him.
In the early hours of October 20th, 2010, the teens put their harebrained plan into action.
He very quietly snuck in the house around 3 in the morning.
Ray musters his courage while his sweetheart waits.
Ray stood there for maybe half an hour, deciding when he was actually going to do this.
But murder doesn't come easy for the mild-mannered teen. (2010), Tucson, Arizona.
What?
I don't know.
You've got to.
16-year-old Clarissa Sanchez and her boyfriend, 19-year-old Ray Coronado, have been separated by Clarissa's father.
Clarissa could have merely run off with her boyfriend. Lots of teenage girls do. But Clarissa wanted to kill her father.
I don't believe that Ray would have ever thought of something like this without Clarissa manipulating him.
Okay, now.
Now, the cover-up.
Clarissa wrapped a sweater around his head because he was bleeding so profusely. They wrapped him up in his bed sheets, and they dragged him outside.
They leave his body in the backyard, and they just start bleaching everything. They bleached the floors, they bleached the walls. They spent 3.5 hours cleaning the room.
But the teens have no idea how big their job is.
This is hopeless.
Let's flip it.
They want people to think Andrew's left town. They pack some of his things and dump them and Andrew's body in the desert. When Sarah returns from her night shift,
Where's your dad?
He went out last night.
she is surprised that Andrew's not home.
Sarah started getting an inkling that something horrible had happened.
I think I better call the police.
Wait a few hours. I'll make you a cup of tea.
Now Clarissa adds a cruel twist to her mother's anguish.
Use Dad's phone to text Mom.
Using the victim's phone, she concocts a shocking story.
Sarah believed that her husband had run away with another woman and that he wouldn't be coming home.
Not only did Clarissa brutally murder her father, but then she tormented her mother as to why her father wasn't there anymore. Totally heartless.
The texts continue for over a week
Thanks for bringing her home.
until Ray's father catches the pair sending the messages.
Look, those texts you've been getting aren't from your husband.
Ray Coronado's dad contacted Sarah and said, I think they have Andrew's phone,
Clarissa and Ray have been sending them.
and I think it's them that have been texting you.
I'll go.
Sarah was just beside herself.
What's going on?
The ruse is about to be exposed. With a routine change of bedding.
They turned over the mattress and saw the stains. And then they called the police.
What is going on? Dad is never coming home.
What?
Clarissa confesses to her sister.
I think Clarissa told her sister not because she felt guilty, but because she was angry and wanted her sister to know what she had done. She wanted credit for it.
Clarissa then tells all to the police.
Clarissa told police that it was kind of her fault because she had told Ray she wanted her father dead. She took the blame for that.
Ray Coronado is convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. In 2011, Clarissa Sanchez pleads guilty to second-degree murder. She is sentenced to 21 years in prison.
She must serve every single day of that sentence under Arizona law.
Clarissa put a teen romance above her father's life.
Really, to Clarissa, what matters is that she gets to do what she wants. It doesn't matter who she has to hurt to make that happen.
Clarissa Sanchez is one of the most heartless teenage killers I've ever looked at.